Lin-Manuel Miranda's Hamilton, an American musical, has won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama and 11 Tony Awards. So now the historical figures of Alexander Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson are basking in the glow of topicality. Hamilton and Jefferson, AAA-level founding fathers who detested and drove each other crazy in real life, have to varying degrees over time jockeyed for leading positions in the national collective consciousness. But now that they've been riding the coattails of the Hamilton musical, they're trending in a way that they never have before. I mean, the epic square-off between Alexander Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson has never broken through to mass pop culture before. Has it? It has. In the 1982 Universal Pictures feature film, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, the ensemble portrait of Jimmy Carter-era Southern California teenagers striving for love, sex, money, and respect. This first feature by director Amy Heckerling is actually fairly much a true story. It comes off a nonfiction book by rock columnist and eventual fellow filmmaker Cameron Crowe. Crowe, in 1979, spent a year posing as a high school student in the LA County coastal city of Redondo Beach. He did so in order to write about the life and times of the generation that everyone back then was just referring to as the kids. But first, I must note, these insights were first laid out to me in a lecture by Dr. Robert Thompson of Syracuse University, a top commenter on American media. By the 1780s, Hamilton and Jefferson had both started to peak as powerful and influential political players. And this is precisely the time that the United States, as a nation and as an economy, was also in its teenage phase. America actively had to decide what it wanted to be when it grew up. Alexander Hamilton and his political party, called the Federalists, wanted America to be a vast and energetic commercial empire. The Hamiltonian idea was that America should get all geared up to produce a slew of wealthy, educated, and influential capitalist businessmen in diverse industries like banking, manufacturing, shipbuilding, and trading. Under this arrangement, the haves would be too busy maintaining an enormous, multifaceted economy to have the time to oppress the have-nots. Thomas Jefferson and his political party, which historians now generally refer to as the Democratic Republicans, reviled this. Their blood boiled at the thought of Hamilton's extravagant industrialist special interests. Jefferson's aspirations were to have an America where property was distributed evenly, even if he had to buy enough territory from the French to enable the federal government to hand out free land to the have-nots. Jefferson's America would be agricultural, humble, slow-paced, and inwardly focused, with people living as independent yeoman farmers. If everyone and everything was decentralized, and no man really politically or economically was raised above another, that, they believed, would produce a just and stable society. This dichotomy is exactly what Fast Times at Ridgemont High dramatizes through two of its main characters, Brad, Hamilton, and Jeff, as in Jefferson, Spicoli. Brad Hamilton, played by Judge Reinhold, is the gloating capitalist of the Fast Times at Ridgemont High burgeoning teen nation.
I'm a single successful guy. A single successful guy.
He not only has clawed his way to an important job at the undisputed best burger joint in town, he's also Employee of the Month. He's saved up for a flashy car. He's big man on campus, with other kids kissing his ring and asking for advice and favors. He's the high-living gentleman that the masses aspire to be. He works hard and he plays hard, and he doesn't have much time for the slackers who thumb their noses at rules and authority.
Hey! You guys had shirts on when you came in here.
Something happened to him, man.
This individual is Jeff Spicoli, played by Sean Penn. Spicoli doesn't have any money or a job. He's not going to sell out his freedom to Hamiltonian capitalist wage slavery.
don't you get a job, Spicoli?
What for?
You need money.
All I need are some tasty waves, cool buzz, and I'm fine.
If there's one thing we can safely say for this most iconic of all iconic surfer dudes, it's that when it comes to the products of industry or agriculture, he's definitely more into agriculture. If this Fast Times at Ridgemont High Hamilton-Jefferson metaphor seems like a lot to swallow, consider the whole subplot of Spicoli and his U.S. history class. In so many of these scenes, Spicoli is sparring with uptight, by-the-rules teacher, Mr. Ham.
My name is Mr. Ham.
Now, in multiple scenes here, Amy Heckerling has made sure to throw at us the subtle hint of a Thomas Jefferson poster right there in frame with Sean Penn. And if you need even more evidence, director Heckerling and screenwriter Crow deliberately choose a Thomas Jefferson history lesson for Spicoli to be expounding upon at the climactic tail end of the academic year.
What Jefferson was saying was, hey, you know, we left this England place because it was bogus. So if we don't get some cool rules ourselves, pronto, we'll just be bogus too. Yeah?
Very close, Jeff.
So there you have it. The subtext of Fast Times at Ridgemont High is that it's an allegory for the Hamilton-Jefferson traditions in American law, governance, and economics. Perhaps we Americans would all get along much better if we could just join together and take on all that plagues us the way Brad Hamilton and Jeff Spicoli do in their final scene together in the film.
Thanks. Can I use your bathroom?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
It's the first door on the left.
What, like up this round?
First door on the left.
When now?
Okay.
Now!
Okay.
Now!
Okay,
What are you doing?
No towels, man.
And, just like the historical Alexander Hamilton, federal enforcer against a whiskey rebellion, Brad Hamilton is not afraid to use physical force.
Awesome! Totally awesome! All right, Hamilton.
Totally awesome. All right, Hamilton. For an incredibly engaging and surprisingly detailed biography of Alexander Hamilton, and for more on his relationship with Thomas Jefferson, check out my book, Alexander Hamilton, The Graphic History of an American Founding Father, published by Penguin Random House 10-Speed Press. It's available wherever you buy books.